Well, hello, this is Rochelle, and thank you so much for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel as we are journaling through the Flourish kit, which is the May kit for Creative Retreat. Now, sad news is that it is sold out. Um, some of the elements may be restocked, but as a whole, I don't believe the kit will be restocked. You can now also pre-order June. Our feeling is that the June kit mirror will also be sold out. So do go check out that website soon. So for the art, I've got the printable with me. I do not have the physical kit. In South Africa, we still have a travel ban and a lockdown in full swing. So no packages arriving soon or even leaving to arrive soon. So I'm making do with what I have. And I have the printable, and for me to cut out these beautiful watercolor flowers, I felt would do them no justice. So I had a look at them, and I wanted to create a wreath and put some of these blue and yellow flowers on my wreath just to signify these, or this fruitful ground that we read in this devotional about. And what I'm realizing, I'm by no means a watercolor artist. I'm using the Koi Sakura paints and a Silver Brush Company black velvet brush, and I'm just kind of mixing the blues and the yellows and the oranges and the greens together. But what I'm seeing with these examples or this printable is that white spaces is okay. It's very impressionistic. It's definitely not perfection. It's the idea of a flower. So take the pressure off, girlfriend, and try and paint yourself a wreath by not trying to be perfect. I by no means am a expert watercolor painter. I really am just very impressionistically following the examples. So my wreath is kind of set. I'm letting the first layer dry, because that's the other thing I'm seeing on these watercolor examples, is that there are layers to it. Some are crisp and defined, others are very watered down and in the soft watercolor background, flow, bleed background. I wanted to use the words or these alphas from the alpha set that's also included in the printable, in the digital Faithfilled Digitals that you can download, purchase for download. And so what I did is I just took my 1-inch circle punch and punched out the letters to spell the word flourish. And for some reason I didn't like the circles in the wreath as I envisioned it in the beginning. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tracing them with a Faber-Castell. I think this is the Indanthrine blue color. This is an S-nib pen, so it's a super fine nib Pitt artist pen. It is waterproof and fade resistant, so I can go over it with watercolor afterwards, which I'm going to do shortly. So after having traced all the words, I did stagger them, kind of not down in one full line, just to space it out and make sure I had enough space on there to do the whole word flourish. So flourish is also the title of the kit this month, and it is such a beautiful devotional by Erin Davis, who is a speaker and an author and a blogger, who's committed to sharing God's truth with others. And she's a mama. She's got 4 boys, goodness gracious, and she has authored 13 books. I've got 1 boy and 4 girls, and it's a handful, let me tell you. I don't know how you do it with 4 boys. But so that's what she speaks about, is this parable of the sower, and then Jesus speaking in Matthew 13 as to why he speaks in parables, and why, or how he explained the parable of the sower to his disciples. It all is about the fertility of the soil. Is the soil good soil? And she challenges us in the reflection questions to examine the soil of our hearts. And I like that little label piece that says soil conditions. And especially in a time like this, where things are happening and there's a lot of media and there's a lot of external workings on the soil of your heart. I want to encourage you that as you read through this parable and even the entire devotion, that as you examine the soil of your heart, to be truthful and real with God. I've been working through the Psalms as well, and in the Psalms, that what I've learned is that David is incredibly real with God. He tells God the truth and not the masked truth. It's not the soil that looks good on the top, but at the bottom it's full of rocks and just completely infertile. He tells God the truth. And then God comes and he, prunes and works and takes out what doesn't have to be there, and works through all of the content that was put into the soil, determining its condition, and gives us the clarity of mind to know that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers us out of them all. And that takes the maturity, I think, in Christianity, is to come and to realize that no matter how long we've been serving God, that we need to be that real with God every day. That, like with, or in Ezekiel, which is also a verse referenced here, God gives us a new heart and puts a new spirit in us, and he removes those old heart, the old heart of stone, that unfertile soil. He tills and toils and works through that soil to remove that stone and replace it with fertility. But that comes with being with God and walking with him and being real with him and spending the time in him to be able to then flourish. There you go. So no bleed through on this page. Just really thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.